Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome for our brand new series discussion starting from today, 5th May 2025, Monday. So I'm so excited to see all of you again after what almost 10 days break. So today we have gathered here to do another Sastra marathon on the book called Nectar of Devotion, then Bhagavad Gita. So we're going to do this simultaneously. So as we have mentioned earlier before, that we're going to Monday and Tuesday going to be Nectar of Devotion. Thursday and Friday going to be Bhagavad Gita discussion. But this week is quite unique because Thursday I've got something on. So therefore, this week we're going to do Monday and Tuesday Nectar of Devotion. Wednesday and Friday Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so we'll just take one day off in between, and Saturday, Sunday no session unless if there's any emergency or what, we will replace the program. Okay, so I'd like to welcome each and every one of you with my humble obeisances to you. Vaishnava Kripa, His Grace Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu, Gandhi Mataji, Kesavan Prabhu, Her Grace Charanlakshmi Mataji, Shankar Rao, Sadguna Mataji, Nanda Devi Mataji, Karpia Saraswati Mataji. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so as usual, before we start our program, we do our invocation prayer. We want to invoke auspiciousness. We want to invoke blessings from all previous acharyas to bless us so that these studies will become successful. You know, just mere studies is not a big deal, right? There is a lot of studies are happening. Even this book is even reviewed and taught in universities, in like Bhagavad Gita, like our Hare Krishna Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada. It is a standard textbook for the study of Indology in Harvard and Oxford. In Harvard University, Oxford University, they are referring to this Bhagavad Gita as it is. So that doesn't mean that the professors and all these people are becoming a devotee. But the most important is by the blessings of previous acharyas, all our Guru Varga, our spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada, and the Guru Varga, by their causeless mercy, we will get this ultimate mercy and blessings. Without their mercy, because they are able captain of the ship, who can, what they call, who expertly can navigate through these oceans of nations. Okay, nations means ocean of ignorance. So the ocean of ignorance, as we have studied before, it is a place where it's a terrible turbulent. Okay, there'll be waves are hitting you left, right, front, and back, and the sea is very rough and it's dark, and it's total darkness in that kind of scary place. You know, so we are struggling in that ocean of nations. So we want to sail through that ocean to go to another shore. That means we are trying to get out from this material shore and want to go and reach that spiritual shore. Okay, so we are just like a refugee trying to run away from a very war-torn country to a peaceful country. So now we are trying to move away from this material world, which is guaranteed of threefold misery. All right, there's a threefold miseries is guaranteed. Is guaranteed. So threefold misery means the misery that arises from the mind that causes depression, frustration, suicidal, and all these kind of things. Then the misery that comes from other living entities like viruses, a fellow human being. You know, sometimes that's why now you see that we are trying to get a car which is the window cannot be broken. And we get a house, we are putting CCTV camera around us. You know, we are trying to be go out cashless. We don't want to wear gold because you're so afraid of others, right? Afraid of thieves and all these kind of things. So it's a fellow human being. Then the third thing is from the nature. The nature is sometimes it's very pleasant. In the morning, it looks so pleasant. Then after that, when the sun rises, it looks so distinct. Then after the earthquake, volcano, drought, so an excessive rain, and if there's no. So there's so much of suffering is guaranteed in this material world. So we are trying to run away from these three mode of material nature. We will try to run away from this place because in this material world is only one thing is guaranteed: dukkhalayam. Okay, Bhagavad Gita, we will study that. When we go through Bhagavad Gita, we'll study that. Dukkha alayam. Dukkha means suffering. Alayam means place. It's a miserable place. So we somehow or other, we realize, actually, this is a miserable place and we want to take refuge. We want to take refuge to the personality of Godhead. And who can navigate the ship very expertly in this, even not only the place is suffering, even the crossing, the ocean is even worse. It has such a terrible turbulent, or 10-story, 20-story high wave, like that, it hitting you all around. So the ship is so terrible. So the one who expertly will navigate the ship is our spiritual master. So when we are stuck in a storm in the middle of the ocean, we must have we only should have one thing. We only should have one thing: to keep faith in the captain. We cannot go to the captain and knock on his head and says, or tap on his shoulder and says, "Are you sure you can save me? Are you sure you can save me? Are you sure you're doing the right thing? Are you sure you're sailing through the right thing?" No, we don't do that. We cling on our life and we just simply surrender to the captain and let the captain somehow or other navigate the ship towards a peace, to come out from the storm. Similarly, we just keep the faith, cling on the faith and simply surrender unto the spiritual master, because only the spiritual master could able to navigate the ship very expertly, that will take us out from this ocean of nations and take us directly to the shore of happiness, to the shore of Vaikuntha Loka. Okay, therefore, we offer our respect to them and pray to their lotus feet. Please kindly give us the benediction that we are all, since we are all under Sastra study marathon. We have already finished few important books. I believe that somehow or other 50% of we are becoming matured and we understand our constitutional position, that actually we are not meant to be here. This is not a place for us. This place is full of misery. Therefore, we got some knowledge. So now what we are trying to do, we try to increase that, increase our faith further, increase our faith, increase our attachment to Krishna. So by the mercy of spiritual master from our Guru Varga, that's when they are the only one can save us. So now we do our invocation prayer, seeking the blessings from the spiritual master and all the previous acharyas. So in your mind, so what we're going to do, first we're going to recite the mantra of Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Charanaravinda, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And then we're going to proceed chanting the invocation prayer of His Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. Okay, the guru of our Prabhupada, right? Then we're going to also seek blessing to Gaura Kishore Das Babaji. Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Then we also going to seek his blessings from Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Then after that, we're going to seek blessings from Jagannath Das Babaji. When we invoke this prayer, in your mind, offer a very beautiful rose garland. Okay, the garland of rose or lotuses, whichever things that you can capture in your imagination. How beautiful garland of flower that you can imagine. Take it and offer to them. Put it on their neck. Then the other flowers, put it on their lotus feet and pray for the mercy from them. After all this invocation, we will invoke the mercy of all Vaishnava devotees in the universe. The past, future, the past, present, and the future. All the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, because they are actually the desire tree that can fulfill our ultimate desire of going back home, back to Godhead. So if you can think of any of your acharyas, any of the person that have inspired you, any devotees, just imagine you're putting a garland on them and offering petals of flowers at their feet, right? So that's the thing. So with that, let's do our invocation prayer, right? Let's if you can remember the prayer I've shared in the group, you can say it. If not, just listen and meditate on it. Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapparakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagar Jadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vidamscha Namavam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasachade Satarine Namavam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaye Kripa Daye Krishna Sambandha Vignanadaine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudha Pasitanta Dvantaharine Nama Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipranamra Sambodhe Padambu Jayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhume Stvam Nidasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhauma Sri Jagannatayate Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurati Sinama Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishta Bhutale Srimade Jaya Pataka Swami Niti Namini Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayini Gaura Kadadamadaya Nagaragrama Dharini Hare Krishna Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's start our today's session, Nectar of Devotion. So a quick introduction of Nectar of Devotion. Okay, anyway, Nectar of Devotion, it is a very important book. It is the summary study. All right, so it's actually a summary study, but what we're going to refer to the verses that is summarized. So it's becoming like more into intense studies. Okay, so we're going to use two books. The first book is we're going to use that Nectar of Devotion. Then after that, Wave of Devotion. The Wave of Devotion is actually it's taken, all the essence of the book is taken out and given in a short note. So for the easy understanding, that's why I ask all of you to print out that Wave of Devotion. And Nectar of Devotion, you buy it. You buy it in the in a ISKCON center. But I'm going to use that Nectar of Devotion. But my version of Nectar of Devotion, it comes with verses, right? So I hope that all of you have this book with you. All of you have kept this book with you. Please have this book. So because we're going to mark the book, we're going to write it this book. So this book was actually given to me. This first book was given to me as a gift in the year 1994. Okay, it's the first ever book I got in my life. In 1994, it was given by His Grace, what they call, Shanti Vardhana Prabhu. He was a brahmachari in Ipoh that time. So he gave me this book as a gift and told me, just go on reading this book and your life can be perfect. All right. So, so ever since, so I hope that all of you have this book with you. And there's another version of the book, which is also translated by his Banu Maharaj. It's a commentary by Jiva Goswami and also Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Okay, this is another book here available. All right, this book is quite costly. It comes in a volume 1 and volume 2. Okay, but doesn't matter. So this is a detailed in-depth studies, and this is also a summary study. But we are going to go into detailed studies. As what we usually do, we're going to go on a detailed studies. So maybe it may take a month or 2 or 3. So it doesn't matter. We are not rushing the time. The most important is we are trying to go deeper in that understanding of this Sastra. Okay, so now where is it? Okay. Okay, so this is the things that okay. So this is the nectar of devotion, the complete science of Bhakti Yoga. All right, the complete science of Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so this is the thing that we're going to do. Then after that, we're also going to refer from this book, the book that you have printed out. The book that you have printed out. Say like Bhakti, what is it Bhakti? So Bhakti connotes devotion, right? So it's all in a very, very short form, rasa. So it's easy for you to understand the subject matter in detail. All right. So, okay, then okay. So let's start this thing. Before we start, is there any questions? Anyone want to ask any questions? Anything that you want to know before we start? Okay, all good, huh? Right. Is it big enough? Should I make it bigger? Is this okay? Or this one? Okay, am I audible?
150 should be fine, Prabhu, as the previous classes.
Okay, this is 150.
It's fine.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Because some of you using phone, right? I think more than 150, I think it won't fit into your screen. Yes or not?
Yes.
Okay. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thakur ki jai. Okay. So now we're going to start a new series, The Nectar of Devotion, the complete science of Bhakti Yoga. So what we are looking at here, the complete science of Bhakti Yoga. So as we are all trying to come into this, into that Bhakti mark. So this is the thing, that complete science. So Bhakti Yoga is actually, it's not a sentimental, it's not a ritual, it's a scientific process. All right. So, and Science of Bhakti Yoga, a summary study of Srila Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And of course, this edition that we are referring here comes with Sanskrit verses. All right. The book that you have may not have Sanskrit verses. Okay, it doesn't matter. So it's added by Govinda Das. So text of the Nectar of Devotion by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, copyrighted courtesy of Bhakti Vedanta Book Trust International. Okay. So used with permission, contents. So now what is the contents that we are looking at is this. First is we're going to go through introduction. See, whenever we read books of Prabhupada, we should start from the very beginning itself. Every words that is mentioned, we should write. Like some people say, I don't need introduction. Today jump to this thing. Okay, that's not the thing. So first you must read the introduction, the preface, all right? That's what they call the analog or something like that. So all this we have to do because that's where the intention of the book is mentioned. Okay, say like for instance, what is the intention of me studying this? So it's mentioned in the introduction. So after you study the introduction, that means you know what is the intention. Then you have to study according to the intention. The biggest mistake that everybody does, especially, they will come to the conclusion first, then they will study. I know about all this, then you study, you can never understand. So always go through it, then you come to the conclusion. Don't conclude and read. Read, then conclude. That is intelligent, right? So, so let's look at the contents that we are going to go through today. Number 1, introduction. The first chapter 1, we're going to study about characteristic of pure devotional service. The first stage of devotion, eligibility of the candidate of accepting devotional service. Devotional service surpasses all liberation. The purity of devotional service, how to discharge devotional service, like that we're going to go through. Okay. Okay, 51 verses. All right. So now let's look at the book of Wave of Devotion. So in this book, okay, here we understand how the thing is divided. All right, the thing is divided into 4 oceans. Okay, the first thing we call as Eastern Ocean. Okay, then second is called as Southern Ocean. All right, Southern Ocean. Then Western Ocean. Then also, then the last one we talk about Northern Ocean. So we must always remember this. First, we start from where? We start from first ocean. We start from the East Ocean. From the East Ocean, not south. East is supposed to be on the left, right? South India.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So we start from the east, right? Then slowly, then after we finish the east, then we come to the next ocean is south. Okay. Then we go to the west. Then we go to the north. Usually, in normal geography, we all study what? North, south, east, west. But here is going this way, right? East, south, west, and north. All right. So now, what they have, how they have divided. I mean, Rupa. Okay. Anyway, this book was written by Rupa Goswami. Okay, the one who have written nectar of what they call Hariram. I mean, what they call nectar of instruction. Okay, the first thing we have studied, right? So how the things divided is like this. Every ocean, okay, like for instance, Eastern Ocean, the title is Varieties of Devotional Service. In that Eastern Ocean, what they have done, what Rupa Goswami have done, he have created 4 waves. First wave, second wave, then third waves, and the fourth wave. Okay, so in ocean there's waves, so it's divided into 4 waves in that Eastern Ocean. In Southern Ocean, you have also divided first wave, then second wave, third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave. Then in Western Ocean is the, okay, there's many waves. First wave, second, third, fourth, and fifth. In Northern Ocean is divided into first wave, second, and third waves. Right? So like that, all these waves, every chapter has been divided into waves. All right. So now let's look at this. The first wave, Eastern Ocean. The title of Eastern Ocean is Varieties of Devotional Service. There are varieties of devotional service. So the first wave, they speak on Samanya Bhakti. So Samanya Bhakti means overview of devotional service. Okay. And it's a characteristic of pure devotional service. Second wave is under the same distinct Eastern wave. Second wave is called Sadhana Bhakti, devotional service in practice. Okay. Then we come to the third wave. Third wave is Bhava Bhakti, devotional service in ecstasy. And the fourth wave is called Prema Bhakti, that is devotional service in pure love of Godhead. So total first ocean, the Eastern Ocean, total we have 19 chapters. All right, 19 chapters. So when we do Bhakti Sastri course, we only study about these first 19 chapters. That's it. We only study about the first wave. All right. So when what we can understand from this here, we understand that Eastern Ocean varieties of devotional service means it is more like introduction to devotional service. Okay, introduction to devotional service. Then after you go through this first wave, what we're going to do, we're going to go through the southern wave, right? So we're going to go into overview of Bhakti Rasa. So we study, okay, now we study overview of Bhakti. Now what is the taste of Bhakti Rasa? Okay, like Vibhava, ecstatic stimulus, Anubhava, subsequent ecstasy, Sattvika Bhava, existential ecstasy, and fourth wave, Vyavichari Bhava, transitory ecstasies, and the fifth wave is called Sthai Bhava, that's constitutional ecstasy. Okay, so here we're going to cover up to chapter 34. Okay. Now, most of these we have already studied in Bhakti Aloka. Bhakti Aloka because it's detailed, because Bhakti Aloka is even a summary of the summary. All right. Then in Western Ocean is called, now we talk about direct Bhakti Aloka. Just now the two is indirect. That means it's like overview. But in Western Wave, we talk about direct Bhakti Rasa, direct reciprocation. We call Santa Rasa, neutral affection. Priti Rasa, servitude. Priyo Rasa means friendship. Vatsala Rasa, parenthood. Madhurya Rasa, consorthood. So how are we going to serve Krishna? So are we going to serve in the Santa, Priti, Preyo, Vatsala, Madhura? So when we go on chanting Hare Krishna every day and practicing the sadhan bhakti, somehow or other you will have your constitutional relationship with Krishna. You will realize your constitutional relationship with Krishna. That which rasa are you actually in? For some, you may find out in this very birth itself. Or for some, you may take maybe next or the following birth, maybe 1 or 2 births, or maybe within this duration, you will find out what is your actual relationship with Krishna. Because as I said, that all of us have what they call a constitutional relationship. We are all unique living entities, and we have a constitutional relationship with Krishna, and we will find out. Right? That is something that we have to find out. So how to find out? By understanding this, right? So are you on a Santa Rasa? Are you on a Priti Rasa? Or are you in Preyo Rasa? Or are you in Vatsala Rasa? Or are you in Madhura Rasa? Okay, that's the. Then we go to the Northern Ocean, indirect Bhakti Rasa. The Bhakti Rasa is very intense. There's also another indirect Bhakti Rasa. Sometimes when we have that Bhakti Rasa, we may not realize what is our Bhakti Rasa, right? So that means, like, for instance, like Northern is first wave, we call Hasya Rasa, laughter. Okay, laughing ecstasy. Second and third wave, Adbhuta Rasa, Veera Rasa, astonishment and chivalry. Like that, we will complete. All right. Oh, sorry. Then 46. Then the fourth and fifth wave. Okay, we'll study about Karuna Rasa, Raudra Rasa, compassion and anger. 6th and 7th waves, we study about Bhayananka and Vibhatsa Rasa, dread and ghastliness. And the 8th wave, we will talk about Maitri, Vairya, Stili, compatible, incompatible mixture of mellow. Then the 9th wave, we talk about Rasa Basa, imperfect expression of mellows. So like that, we will complete the entire thing, a total of 51 chapters. All right. So when you look at the last wave, the last ocean, the Northern Ocean, it has 9 waves. Others will have 4 and 5. First is 4, second is 4, 5, third is 5, and this is total 9 waves. Okay. So one of the rasa that I like to tell you, I just like to jump the gun just to inform you, like first Hasya Rasa, or that indirect Bhakti Rasa, even yawning. When you yawn, do you know that when you chant Hare Krishna, you start yawning? Do you yawn? When you start Hare Krishna, when you chant only, you start yawning. Have you all experienced that? Hare Krishna? Anyone? No one yawn, huh? Vaishnava Prabhu?
Yeah, bro.
Do you yawn when you chant?
Yeah, very frequently.
Do you know that?
Sleeping, Babu.
Huh?
Prelude to sleep.
but yawning is one of the rasa, indirect rasa.
Mine is just before sleeping, Babu.
Not before sleeping, I'm talking about when you chant Hare Krishna, do you yawn?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's one of the rasa. Anyway, we will go through that. Okay, so this is the short summary of all the rasas. Okay, so the ecstatic love, Krishna's quality explained, added continuous love, indirect expression. All right, 39 waves of meeting of Krishna, revering devotion, 51 perverted expression of mellows. Okay, so these are the things that we're going to study. All right, so before we start our invocation, before we start this thing, it is very auspicious to Bhakti, what they call, Srila Prabhupada started with invocation. Okay, because the one who possesses or the authority of the Bhakti, it is none other than the 6 Goswamis. All right, the 6 Goswamis. So now let's look at the 6 Goswamis Astaka, right? Nana Sastra. Okay, if you all can repeat after me, is good. Okay. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau Saddharma Sangstapakau Lokanang Hita Karinau Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanya Karau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajanandena Mattalikau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Nana Sastra Vicharanaika Nipunau Saddharma Sangstapakau Lokanam Hitakarinau Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanya Karau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajanandanena Matala Bhajananandena Mattalikau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau. Srila Prabhupada starting with on Mangalacharan, invoking the mercy of Sanatan and all these things. Okay, let's look at the translation. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, right? 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami. Okay, how we can remember their names? It's very auspicious to remember the name. First is Sanatana. Right? We just think about Sanatana Goswami. Then Rupa Goswami. Sanatana is elder brother. Rupa Goswami is a younger brother. So Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami. Okay. Then after R, there's another R. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. Third is Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. Then the fourth is Raghunath Das Goswami. So there's 2 Raghunath here. First is Raghunath Bhatta. Second is Raghunath Das. And of course, at last is, then after that followed by Jiva Goswami and Gopala Bhatta Goswami. Okay, can you all remember that? Sanatana, Rupa, Raghunath Bhatta, Raghunath Dasa, Jiva, and Gopala Bhatta. Okay. Sanatana, number 1, Sanatana, Rupa Goswami, Rupa, Raghunatha Das, Raghunath Bhatta, Jiva, and Gopala. There's a 6 kinds of Goswamis. Okay. So who are very expertly in scrutinizingly studying the revealed scripture. Who are they? They are very expert and they scrutinizingly, they so much in scrutinized studies of the revealed scripture. For what? With the aim of establishing eternal religious principle. So the religious principle that we are now, it's called the eternal religious principle. For what? For the benefit of all human beings. For all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the 3 worlds. And they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of gopis. Again, and are engaged in transcendental loving service of Radha and Krishna. They are engaged. So now the word that we can see is they are always absorbed in the mood of gopis. Okay, they are absorbed in the mood of gopis. So what we can understand from here? So all these 6 Goswamis are none other than Manjaris. They are always absorbed in the mood of gopis. So they have seen it directly, the pastimes of Krishna, and the part of them came in this material world to take a form, okay, and became this kind of Goswamis, Acharyas, just to train us up, just to give us an opportunity of going back home, back to Godhead. All right. There's another part of the scripture that I was reading that day. I was talking to some exalted Vaishnava devotee. It's quite scary actually. Right? One Divya Yuga is equivalent to 4 yugas. That means Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. Okay? Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and today we are in Kali Yuga. These 4 is equal to 1 Divya Yuga. The 4 is called, this one circle is called 1 Divya Yuga. It's like in this material world, we say summer, autumn, spring, and winter. These 4 combined, we say 1 year. Because roughly it lasts 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. It's considered 1 cycle, 1 year. Similarly, these 4 things combined, we call it as 1 Divya Yuga. So 1,000 of such Divya Yuga is 1 day of Brahma, 1 day time of Brahma, 1 day time. 1,000 of these 1 Yuga. Okay. Then, so what Krishna says, I'll appear in this every 1 day of Brahma. So when we miss this opportunity, imagine how long you're going to go on. Okay, it's a very detailed studies. I need to get the reference to it. Once I get the reference, definitely I would love to share with all of you. Okay, to say the conclusion is, don't take your own sweet time to achieve. Don't take your own sweet time. Okay, never mind, I still got time. I chant Hare Krishna whenever I feel like it. Oh, I'm young, I can do whenever I know. Don't ever do that. Try to do it, make it very fast and make it very quickly, because this is a very urgent thing. So as we go on, okay, never mind. But anyway, in this book, we will study that. There's more detail that says that how urgent is this message of this thing. Okay, anyway, I don't jump into the gun. I don't confuse you. Let's concentrate on this. Okay, so with that invocation, let's look at the preface. Okay, preface. So in the preface, Prabhupada explained exactly what is his intention about writing this Nectar of Devotion. Okay, now let's look at that. The Nectar of Devotion, okay, the Nectar of Devotion is a summary study of what? Bhakti Rasa Mrita Sindhu. Bhakti Rasa Mrita is a summary study of Bhakti Rasa, which was written in Sanskrit by Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Right? Is written by Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Okay, what is Prabhupada? Means the place where all the masters rest. It's an honorific title. Okay, so this Bhakti Rasa Mrita Sindhu was actually is written by Srila Rupa Goswami. So now he was the chief of 6 Goswamis. Just now I said what? Sanatan is the elder, and his younger brother is Rupa. But now the younger brother Rupa Goswami is actually the chief of all 6 Goswamis. All right? Who are they? Were direct disciple of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay? Okay, now we are coming to the important part. When he first met Lord Chaitanya, Rupa Goswami Prabhupada was engaged in a minister of Mohammedan government in Bengal. So when he first met Lord Chaitanya, Rupa Goswami was what they call, he is the minister in that Islam, is a Muslim kingdom. In Bengal, Mohammedan means Muslim, Islam, right? In olden English, they call Mohammedan, the follower of Muhammad, right? So that means he's engaged in the minister. He's the minister in that the Muslim government. Okay, he and his brother Sanatan were then named Dabira Kasha and Shakara Mallika. So now who is Dabira Kasha? Dabira Kasha is actually Rupa Goswami, and the brother Sanatana is called Shakara Mallika. So they have a Muslim name, all right? And they held a responsible post as minister of Nawab Hussain Shah. At that time, 500 years ago, the Hindu society was very rigid. All right, 500 years ago, the Hindu society was very rigid. And if a member of a Brahmana caste, okay, Brahmana caste, accept the service of the Mohammedan ruler, he was at once rejected from Brahmana society. So that means in those days, when a person works in a government or they become the servant of that any Muslim, they are considered outcast and they will get rejected, especially the Brahmanas. But nowadays, you see, 500 years later, nowadays, the Brahmanas are the one who are involved in all kind of business ventures and everything, especially the law. You know, the great lawyers in India are basically all Brahmanas. And the Brahmanas are not to tell lie, but of course, it's totally opposite. Okay, anyway. So that means the Brahmanas were there. This was the position of the two brothers. Okay, this is the position of two brothers. That means Dabira Kasha, who is Rupa Goswami, and Sakara Malika. This is the position of the two brothers, Dabira Kasha and Shakara Malika. They belong to the, actually what where do they from? They belong to the highly situated Saraswata Brahmana community. So Saraswata Brahmana community means the community of very highly educated. Highly educated people are called as Saraswata. They have the title Saraswata, Brahmana community, but they were ostracized due to their acceptance as the minister post. So they mean they've been thrown away, they've been rejected, or they've been outcasted because they have accepted the minister post in the government of Hussein Shah. If the grace of Lord Chaitanya, that means the grace of Lord Chaitanya, that he accepted these two exalted personalities as his disciples. Okay, and raised them to the position. And what he did, he raised them to the position of Goswami, which is called the highest position of Brahminical culture. So what we can understand from this statement here. So that means a person has to be raised to that standard. Okay, unless the person is not raised, he is still in that kind of not into that exalted position. They can be born into a great exalted family or caste. They can born in a great caste family and all these things. But if they are not raised, they are still mundane. So that means we have to raise our standard. When we perform bhakti, what actually we are doing, we are raising our standard. How are we raising our standard? Number one, by giving up all kind of bad attitudes. Bad, what they call, first if we can, is give up by bad attitude. Then slowly we give up bad characteristic. And in between of that, giving up bad attitude, bad characteristic, we give up all the bad habits. Okay, so once we don't have any bad habits, bad characteristic, bad this thing, we are come to the level of perfect human being. That means we don't have any kind of sinful mentality or sinful habit, you know. So we are living life of discipline, right? And this discipline is not restraining yourself. Now, first you have to restrain. Okay, example, first you have to restrain yourself from doing it. But once that it becomes your habit, it turns into a discipline. Okay, similarly, Lord Chaitanya. So again, what Prabhupada says, the word here is similarly, right? Similarly. So what does it mean? I mean, at the same, just the same example, what did Lord Chaitanya did? He accepted Haridas Thakur. He also accepted Haridas Thakur as disciple, although Haridas Thakur happened to be born of a Mohammedan family, right? So that means what happened? If anyone who are born in Mohammedan family are considered they are rejected people. They are called Malicha. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, when we read, you know, when there's a term Malicha means they are known as the Muslims, are called Malicha. All right, they are the lowest. Or Yavana, also known as what they call demoniac. That's why they love to kill cow and eat and all this. So anyway, so I don't go into the detail. So you all know. So that means, and anybody born into that. That's why they say we should not eat anything cooked by the Muslims. We have to be very careful. You know, sometimes we say we go to Nasi Kanda. And then Nasi Kanda, now they start to spit. You know, they take the water like that, or they spit on their saliva into the Nasi Kanda. Say that once they spit the thing into that, it becomes prasadam. They call the big mufti come, everything become prasadam. And imagine you eat that kind of disgusting food. Okay, so if any one of you, I think all of you are not doing it, but any one of you got any family members who just love to go to Nasi Kanda, don't ever do that. All right, this is a very terrible place to eat. All right, anyway, so now, even though Haridas Thakur was born in the family of a Muslim, but Lord Chaitanya later on made him the Acharya of the chanting of the holy name. Right? So Acharya, that means Haridas Thakur is the Acharya of the holy name, is the authority in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Right? So that's he made him to chant the holy name of the Lord. So what we can understand from this, that's a book that we read, Harinama Chintamani. Right? So that means anyone who can chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra very seriously, sincerely, and surrenders unto the lotus feet of a spiritual master, they achieve the highest success, right? Okay, now, so this is what we have read so far. So that means he have never seen any caste system. Even there's one person who was born into a Brahmana family, but rejected because he worked in a Muslim family, Musalman. He accepted them. And another person who born as a Muslim himself, still accepted them, right? So this is the another thing. So now let's look at the second this thing. So Lord Chaitanya's principle is universal. This is very important. Those who are studying Bhakti Sastri, this is one of the important topic that the questions come out in the Bhakti Sastri exam. What is that universal function of Lord Chaitanya? So that's a universal principle. What is that? Anyone who knows the signs of Krishna and is engaged in the service of the Lord is accepted as being the higher position than the person born in the family of a Brahmana. Look at that. So that means the universal principle of Lord Chaitanya is very simple. Those who know the signs of Krishna, all right? And at the same time, only know the signs of Krishna also useless. Like we have seen people who just love to read and just think, but they don't do anything else. It's useless. All those who know the signs of Krishna, number one, first point. Number two, and engaged in the service of the Lord. Just by knowingly, just by understanding it is not enough. You must know, right? Is the number one, the first point, right? And this is the second point. Okay, is the second point. Okay, so the first point is, that means, know the signs of Krishna. Yes, I read and after that, okay, I know. But most importantly, you have to engage in the service. All right. So when these two things happen, is accepted of being a higher position. What Prabhupada says is accepted as being the higher position than the person born in the family of a Brahmana. So when we do the comparison study, a person who born in the family of Brahmana versus a person who born in the family of a Chandala, but he understands the signs of Krishna and he engaged in the service of Krishna, he is far superior. A Chandala means the person who eat dog. They are considered the lowest of the lowest, the dog eater. But of course, those days Chandala is considered because they find abominable, that means dog eaters. But nowadays, they are beef eaters. They are even more abominable. They are even worse than Chandalas. So when that worse than Chandala people suddenly they start to engage, understand the signs of Krishna, and they engage in the service of Krishna, they are to be understood far greater than the person who born in the family of a Brahmana. Okay, so this is that Prabhupada is continuing that this is the original principle accepted by all Vedic literature. So what is that? This is the original principle. It is not something new. It is the original principle. Okay, it is not something new concocted out of sentiment. Oh, because we want to spread the Krishna conscious movement all over the world. Well, because we want to make it distinct. Therefore, everything is same. No, it doesn't matter in what family you come from. You are still, no, it's not out of sentimental or speculation. See, Prabhupada says this is the original principle. What is that original? Then this is the actual principle accepted by all Vedic literatures. Accepted by all Vedic literatures, especially by Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So the principle Lord Chaitanya movement is in educating and elevating everyone. First to educate them, and through education you elevate them. Yes or not? We have seen people who come from come from a estate. All right, the parents are not educated. I think the youngsters would not understand. You know, when I was growing up, there was a steel estate, and the people still there's estate dwellers. They are so uneducated. They are only rubber tapper. They only know how to read and write Tamil. Okay, that's it. And that also not so great because they only study until statistics. All right. And from a very uneducated background, when the person, when they make the son to be educated, what happened? So the education become elevating him. He elevated himself. He doesn't go to the estate and dress up like the estate dwellers. He elevated himself. So education, this is in material concept I'm talking about. But in spiritual concept is to educate the mass population. At the same time, to elevate them. To where? To exalted post of a Goswami is what is taught in the nectar of devotion. Do you all following me on this? Now you understand what is the purpose of nectar of devotion. Because the nectar of devotion is to create the principal universal Lord, to what? To educate and to elevate. To educate and to elevate. Who? Everyone. Doesn't matter who is he. Everyone. All right? To the exalted post of Goswami. Okay, not to the ordinary post, but to the post of Goswami. Okay, that is what is taught in nectar of devotion. Okay, now the question is, why did the caste system, this kind of confusion started? When Buddhism started to spread all over the world, it destroys the Brahmanical culture. It became atheistic. Then Adi Shankara came to re-establish the Brahmanical culture. When the Brahmanas were deprived, and suddenly they went and re-establish them again, the Brahmanical. Of course, it's re-established in a Mayavadi form. That's when the Brahmins all came up with this kind of caste consciousness, the caste system, to protect themselves, to keep them elevated. So that's when they say, oh, we are all Brahmanas. We born in the Brahmana means we do. No, that's when the division actually started. All right. So like that. So this is what we say. So to educate, to elevate everyone to the exalted, that is the purpose of, that's the teaching. So now what we can understand from here. So when we are studying, we should know what is the purpose of our education. Why am I studying this book? What am I trying to achieve? Right? So the purpose is mentioned here. Purpose of okay. So now we understand the purpose of nectar of devotion. This is the purpose, the ultimate purpose. Okay. So, oh, sorry, nectar, I put narta. Anyway, I hope you understand. So this is the purpose. The purpose of nectar of education is to remember this by heart, because there's high chances of you not going back to this book. Once and for all, remember this. Please write down in your book. In your book there's a side footnote in which paragraph is this. Because this nectar of devotion got a very long paragraph, a long essay. Okay. It is on a first page. Second paragraph. Okay. Second paragraph, please underline the thing. Please don't highlight. If you're going to highlight, you're going to waste the thing. Just underline it and you just write it the same. The universal principle, the purpose of the nectar of devotion. What is that purpose? Is to educate and to elevate everyone. Okay. So this is going to be a very long, I think we're going to talk about this introduction maybe for a few days. Right? It's going to be, because here, once we understand this introduction alone, we are some or other positively, we are on our way in proper studies of this thing. All right? Any questions so far? Are you all following me? If yes, put a thumbs up. Great. Wonderful. Okay. So now, okay, now it's 9:56. Just take a quick break before we go to the next. Sorry. We will go to the next paragraph, because every paragraph is Srila Prabhupada basically summarized everything, all the books and everything. Fantastic. So by understanding this, we understand all the writings of all the previous acharyas. Right? We'll take a short break. Hare Krishna. All right, let's continue. Okay. So before that, any questions? Anyone got any questions to ask? So please, for those who are coming for the first time, like we have Shankar Rao. Okay. We always love people asking question. Okay. If you have any doubt, stop me immediately and ask question. So we will discuss, because since we are doing a detailed studies, I love everyone to ask question. Don't think, oh, you're going to like delay the discussion. Okay, don't worry about all that. If you have any doubt, stop immediately and ask question to clear your mind. Okay, now, so far, any questions so far? Is it all good? You all can follow, eh? Okay.
Follow.
Now, yes, Mataji, someone say something?
Yeah, I still can follow.
Oh, can follow. Okay, right. Thanks. Okay, now let's look at the next paragraph. Okay, the third paragraph. Lord Chaitanya met his two brothers. Okay, now let's see, where did Lord Chaitanya met them? Okay, so Lord Chaitanya met his two brothers, Dabira Kasha. Who is Dabira Kasha now? And Shakara Mallika. Who is Dabira Kasha?
Rupa Goswami.
Very good. Shakara Mallika is Sanatan Goswami. Very good. All right. So Lord Chaitanya met these two brothers. He met both in the village known as Ramakeli in the districts of Malda. All right, there's a district of Malda. He met both in the place called Ramakeli. And after that meeting, the brothers decided to retire from government service. Okay, after that the meeting, so the both brothers decided to retire from government service. They plan to retire, and for what? To join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya. So Dabira Kasa, later known as Rupa Goswami, retired from his post and collected. So after he retired from his post and collected all the money he had accumulated, okay, during his service. That means once, like a gratuity. Sometimes when we retire, we get gratuity, golden handshake, and all these kind of things, right? So collected all the money he had accumulated during the service. It is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So his accumulated savings in gold coins, all right, equal to millions of dollars, all right? So that means all that gold, all the money that he accumulated, it equal to millions of dollars. How? Because he can fill up a large boat. Can you imagine a large boat full of gold? Boat full of gold. He had that much of money. So then what did he did? This is something that he did something very gloriously. So what he did, okay, he divided the money in a very exemplary manner. Okay, he divided the money into a very exemplary manner. How is the best way to divide? So, which Prabhupada says should be followed by devotees in particular. All right, it should be followed by devotee in particular. Okay, and by humanity in general. So he suggested that this method is to be followed by the devotee in particular, and better if by the humanity in general. So what are the things he did? That means we are talking about when you are giving up and try to be brahmachari or this thing, or going to, vanaprastha or retired life. He say like this: 50% of the accumulated wealth he distributed to the Krishna conscious person. Right? So 50% of his money he gave to the devotees, right? The Krishna conscious person or the Brahmanas, or for the propagating of Krishna consciousness. Okay, namely the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. Okay, he gave half for the Brahmana Vaishnavas, and also, also to, okay, now, like nowadays we can say, give to the temple for further development. All right, then 25% was distributed to relatives. All right, so he gave away 25%. Relative means what? Like the wife, children, inherit to the relations, 25%. Then 25% was kept against emergency expenditure and personal difficulties. So he gave away 50% for the propagation of Krishna conscious, or to the Krishna conscious person like Brahmana and Vaishnava. 25% he kept it, he gave it to his relatives, family members and relatives like that. Then 25% he kept it for him for his rainy days in case any emergency or what. All right. So that is how he divided. Later on, when Sakara Mallika also proposed to retire. Okay. First, when Rupa Goswami retired, okay. But after that, his brother, Sanatan Goswami, Sakara Mallika, went and told the king he wanted to retire. So when he wanted to retire, what happened? Nawab became very much agitated. He became very angry. Why you both guys are retiring? What is it happening? You know, he was so agitated. So what he did? He put him into jail. He threw him into the jail, right? So, but now what? Okay. Then now, Sakara Mallika, who later became known as Sanatana Goswami, all right? What he did? He took advantage of his brother's personal money, all right? Which had been deposited with the village banker. Okay. In the village bank, there's a village banker, the thing. So he deposited all the money in the village banker. So what his elder brother did, he took opportunity of the money because when the younger brother retired, he got one boat full of money. When this elder brother wanted to retire, the king didn't give him any pension, any gratuity, but throw him into the jail. Was thinking, what is his intention? Why suddenly they want to retire? They want to get out from this because he was such a able ministers, right? So then what the younger brother did, elder brother, I mean Sanatan Goswami, what he did, he took advantage. He used his brother's personal money, all right? And after what he did, he escaped from the prison of Hussein Shah, all right? He escaped. That means he took that money, he bribed the guard, all right? So the bribery, it is not something new. The bribery has been happening since 500 years. This is a recorded bribery, all right? So what happened? He took the money from there and he told the guard, I give you this much of money, just let me go. Just tell he drowned. Just let him he died. We throw him into the what they call into the river already, something like that. So he made use of that money. He bribed the guard and he escaped. Okay. Now, in this way, both brothers joined Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now, Rupa Goswami first met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Prayag, Allahabad, India. Right? Now is no more Allahabad, is known as Prayagraj. That place is called Prayagraj. So Rupa Goswami first met Lord Chaitanya in Prayagraj, and which part of Prayagraj he met? On the Dashashvamedha bathing ghat. Okay, so he met at the place where it's an auspicious place for bathing. He met him there, bathing ghat of the holy city or holy city. Then the Lord instructed him continually for 10 days. So the Lord was giving instruction, that means he was teaching him, Lord Rupa Goswami, continuously for 10 days. Okay. And what he teach, the Lord particularly instructed Rupa Goswami on the science of Krishna consciousness. So the science of Krishna consciousness also were taught by Sri Krishna himself. Okay. So now these teachings of Lord Chaitanya to Srila Rupa Goswami, Prabhupada, are narrated in our book called Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. All right, TLC. Okay, there's a book, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. If you have any access to that book, you can take that book and start to read it. All right, it's a very auspicious thing to read. And who knows, if we get a chance, maybe you also can study that in the future. Later, Srila Rupa Goswami, what happened? So first, teachings, the instructed of Rupa Goswami, he gave instruction, the science of Krishna consciousness, and this is been narrated in Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Right? So whatever Lord Chaitanya spoke is in book Teaching of Lord Chaitanya. Then what happened? Later, all right, now the word later, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada elaborated the teaching. Okay, so what happened? Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, what he did? He elaborated. Elaborated means what? He gave commentary and expanded the teaching. He elaborated. Okay, the teaching of the Lord with a profound knowledge. All right, how he elaborated with the Lord with a profound knowledge. Okay, profound knowledge of the revealed scripture. All right, and the authoritative reference from the various Vedic literature. Okay, so what happened? He elaborated. That means whatever he thinks, he elaborated the teaching based on the revealed scripture. That means he start to get the he started to quote from the revealed scripture. That means from all the Vedas. Whatever he says, he quoted. Yes, what he says, right? He quoted from all the other Vedas. And of course, an authoritative reference. So that means he referred and bring this thing. He didn't create anything from his mind. Okay. He revealed scripture, this thing from various Vedic literature. Okay. He elaborated. So Srila Srinivas Acharya, described in his prayer to the six Goswami that they were all highly learned scholars. Now we can ask, from a Muslim background, who is a fallen Brahmana, Saraswata Brahmana, they worked in Muslim kingdom. Then after that met Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya teach this Rupa Goswami for 10 days, right? Then Rupa Goswami elaborated the teaching based on teaching profound knowledge. They have so much of knowledge of revealed scripture and authoritative reference from varieties of Vedic literature. Okay, how is that possible? Therefore, Srinivas Acharya, there's another person called Srinivas Acharya, he described in his prayer, he says in his prayer that the six Goswamis, all right, are very highly learned scholars. So that means even they are from whatever background, they are all very highly learned scholars. Therefore, we do not doubt their scholarship. All right. And they are not high scholar, not only in Sanskrit, but also in foreign language such as Persian. They speak Iranian language, Persian, and also Arabic. Right. They very scrutinizingly studied all the Vedic scripture. So that means they studied very detailed, scrutinizing in depth, like what we are studying now, detailed studies. So scrutinizingly study all the Vedic scripture in order to establish, for what? Just to establish the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All right. So why they studied? Because after he taught, that means he studied all the Vedas, scrutinizingly just to establish, right, the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. On what? On the authorized principle of the Vedic knowledge. It is not by imagination. So that means when you want to get something, okay, example, like how sometimes the lawyer do, when the lawyer are fighting the case, so what do? They will scrutinizingly study all the laws and they try to look for the loopholes and also all the previous cases that has been discussed on that topic. Based on all these things, so they want to create what they call prima facie or something like that. So to say that to create a reasonable doubt whether the person has actually done the crime or not. So similarly, they study all the Vedic studies to order to establish the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not imagination. It is not like some jokers who suddenly call themselves as God. I am God. It is not that. But they went and checked every aspect, all the four Vedas. They studied everything in detail and to re-establish, all right, and on the authorized principle of the Vedic teaching. So to make it as bona fide. So the present Krishna conscious movement is also based on the authority of Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. So now the Krishna conscious movement that we are in now, it is based on the authority of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. That's why we are also known as Rupa Nugas. Rupa Nugas means we are the follower of the teachings of Rupa Goswami. All right. So we are therefore generally known as Rupa Nugas, or the followers of the footsteps of Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Okay, now, it is only for our guidance that Rupa Goswami prepared his book called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Now you understand how the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu has been created. Okay, number one, he took the instruction for 10 days. Then after that, he elaborated. How he elaborated? Okay, he elaborated by the authority of the Vedic studies, Vedic and commentary of the authority of the Vedas and the authorized commentary. Okay, he did that. Then after that, okay, then who are these people? I mean, is he really qualified? So that means we understood Srinivas Acharya is telling, yes, they are qualified because they are very highly educated. They are very highly educated, they're great scholars. And what they do, they scrutinizingly studied all the Vedas. Based on what Lord Chaitanya said for 10 days, they took these and scrutinized, studied all the Vedas and take all that element, all that, what they call, the proof or the, what they call, what is the word? The evidence and the proof. They take all the evidence to re-establish the teachings. So then that's the idea about, then because for what? To start this, the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we ISKCON is the one that we follow exactly the teachings of Rupa Goswami. Okay, and that's why we are known as Rupa Nugas. Right? So then after that, what happened? He the follow, okay, then after, and it is for our guidance. So that means after he created that, then he summarized everything into the point form and into that thing. That's when Srila Rupa Goswami prepared his book called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Now you understand the way how, what is the intention, how the thing is created. So the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is now presented in the form of Nectar of Devotion. So we should understand this one thing very clearly. The book that we are studying here, it is the intention of Lord Chaitanya and supported by all the 4 Vedas, Puranas, Itigasas, Agamyas, just name it, issue of Upanishads, all the things that taken, all the things scrutinizingly and given, and the Nectar of Devotion is the on the bullseye, dot. This is what the ultimate goal. There's nothing beyond this Nectar of Devotion. The presentation of Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that's the thing. So this is the ultimate, and this is the logbook. You know, if we want to go back to Godhead, we should understand what we are doing. And that is the thing that's given in the form of the book called Nectar of Devotion. So devotion service, it is it. So now you're talking perform devotional service. So what is devotional service? Is it washing pot? Is it cleaning the temple? Is it doing puja? Is it that? So now this is what is been explained thoroughly and in detail. So then person engage in Krishna consciousness movement. So when we are all engaging in Krishna consciousness movement, we may take advantage of this book, great literature. It's not an ordinary thing, great literature, and be very solidly situated in Krishna consciousness. Solidly situated. Look at the term. So all this, we have to read between the lines. So we have to be solidly situated. So if you think you are not strong enough in Krishna consciousness, you have to solidify yourself. So to solidify yourself, the only advantage is, the only way is by taking advantage of these great literature. All right. So far, so good. Everyone following me? All right.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, now let's look at the second one. So now let's look at the second verse. Bhakti means devotional service. Bhakti means devotional service. In every service has some attractive feature. In every service that we do, there is some kind of attractive feature which derive from servitor progressively and so on. Okay, now Bhakti means devotional service. Every service has some attractive feature. Okay, so when you are attracted to one particular service because there is some kind of attraction in that service, okay, that is a place where it drives the servitor. Servitor means that you are serving. It drives the servitor to progressively on and on. So how you're going to progress, move on. Okay, just progressively move on and on and on. Right? That means just progressively on and on. That means you're not going to get stagnant to one place. You're just going to move on. Every one of us within this world, every one of us within this world is perpetually engaged in some sort of service. Everyone else, we are engaging in some sort of, you are a government servant, you are a DCI. We are serving, we are doing something. But the impetus of such service is the pleasure we derive from it. Right? So the thing that we want to move on doing it because of the pleasure we derive. We get pleasure derived. So that means we are moving on in that service. So driven by affection for his wife and children, a family man works day and night. A philanthropist works in the same way for the love of the greater family, and the nationalist for the cause of his country and countrymen. That force which drives the philanthropist, the householder, the nationalist is called rasa. All right. So that means a family man goes to work because to take care of the family, and the philanthropist work because want to look at a greater family, like the talking of the community, build hospital, build this kind of place. You know, like sometimes when you go up that Kledang Hill, there's a place in Ipoh called Kledang Hill. When you walk up, there's a lot of rest areas. You go there, there's one rest area built by one company. Then you go further, there's another rest area. So all these philanthropy they create for the greater people, this thing, and for family and also nationalist. Okay. So for the case of his country and countrymen. So what is that force, that thing? So the force that drives them, is called rasa. Or a kind of mellow, or also we can understand a relationship. Okay. The word rasa can never be described in any English word. So that's why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada translated rasa as mellow. What is mellow? A very deep, satisfying feeling. Okay, the mellow. Okay. Okay, whose taste is very sweet. Whose taste is very sweet. So Bhakti Rasa is a mellow. So Bhakti Rasa is actually a mellow. So it's different. This mellow is different from ordinary rasa enjoyed by mundane workers. Mundane workers labor very hard day and night in order to relish a certain kind of rasa, which is understood to be sense gratification. So that means a mundane rasa means the ordinary people, they work so hard day and night just for their set. This rasa is called the ordinary rasa, which is also called as, is understood as sense gratification. So the relish or taste of the mundane rasa does not long endure. Right? So that means the relish of the taste of mundane rasa, that means all the mundane rasas that we are tasting, it doesn't last long. Right? So that means once you do, example, I buy one car, after 5-6 years, the car becomes useless. I have to get another car. So it doesn't last long, the mundane rasas. And therefore, mundane rasa workers are always apt to changes their position of enjoyment. So that means they go on thinking how to position themselves to further enjoy. A businessman is not satisfied. Now, example, a businessman is not satisfied by working the whole week, example. He worked the whole week, he is not satisfied. Therefore, wanting a change for the weekend, he goes to the place where he tries to forget his business activity. That means he go for a holiday with family and this thing, just to forget about his business activity, just break away. After the weekend, he spent in forgetfulness. After the weekend, he spent in forgetfulness. That means he go there, he just forget about business. He is in forgetfulness. He again changes his position and resumes his actual business activity. Right? That's why every Monday we call it as Monday blues. Because after a break, Monday, Saturday and Sunday, after you just don't want to think about your job and everything. So Monday you have to adjust back yourself into resume your actual business activities. So material engagement means accepting particular status. So material engagement means accepting a particular status for some time and then changing it. Are you all following me on this? Material engagement means accepting a particular status sometime, then change it. So comes a Friday night, I change. Saturday, Sunday, I don't want to think about this. Some people even off the phone and throw it away. Okay, I don't want anybody to call me on the weekends. I'm not available. Then after Saturday, Sunday is over, Monday, they adjust back this thing. So that means accepting one particular status, then changing it. So this position of changing back and forth is technically known as Bogatyaga, which means position of alternating sense enjoyment and renunciation. All right. So position of alternating. So Boga means material distinct, Tyaga means sacrificing, in other words. So that means the positioning alternating sense enjoyment, right? So every Monday to Friday, you have sense enjoyment of working. Okay, you have sense enjoyment. I'm going to work, I'm meeting people, then I go for lunch in a high-class restaurant, then I go for dinner, then this and that. Actively, you in your 5 days work, you are enjoying it. Then after that, you stop it. Then Saturday, Sunday, your enjoyment now switch to your family or for your own self or with your wife or girlfriend or whatever. Just switch yourself. So positioning alternating here and there, it is called Bogatyaga. Or that means, in other words, sense enjoyment, then renunciation. So that is the concept that we have studied before, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. First, we have Dharma, religiosity. Then we create Artha, properties and all that. Then we have sense gratification. After all this thing over, then we talk about Moksha, renunciation. So this is called Bogatyaga. So we're simply changing it. So this is still under material concept. All right. So do you understand what I said? Thumbs up if you understand.
Yes.
Everyone, huh? Okay, so is there, right? Great. Okay, so you understand. So that means simply changing from one position happiness to another position happiness. It's just like, in other words, we have all that sense enjoyment. After sense enjoyment, then suddenly we give up everything, go to renunciation, the material concept, right? So now let's look at this. A living entity cannot steadily remain either in sense enjoyment or in renunciation. Okay, the living entity cannot stay in one place. Cannot steadily remain in either sense enjoyment. How long can you enjoy? You cannot remain there forever. You cannot remain steady in that. And then after that, you talk about renunciation, give up everything. Also, you cannot be steady there, right? Just like a materialistic man, suddenly you will take a vow of going, taking some kind of vow like Swami Ayyappan, wear all black for 45 days, 48 days in total renunciation. The first 1-2 weeks, they somewhat other struggle. Then somewhat other they can come to the level of controlling themselves. And towards the end, they'll be just looking forward when the time is going to end. When the time ends, immediately they jump into the material way of life, they enjoy maximum. Then after that comes another kind of thing, they fast another 40 days, 50 days, something like that. There are people who love to do this, right? They love to do this. No? So that means they cannot remain steady in one place. They cannot remain steady in material life. They cannot remain steady in spiritual life. So change is going on perpetually, is going on. And we cannot be happy in either state. All right? We cannot be happy in either state because our eternal constitutional position. Okay? So sense gratification does not endure for long. The sense gratification cannot last long. It cannot stay with you forever. It cannot last long. And it is therefore called Chapala Shuka. Chapala Sukha. Sukha means happiness. Sukha. I sukha you, you sukha saya. So it's called Chapala Sukha. So that means when the thing cannot endure long, it is called Chapala Sukha, which is also called as flickering happiness. What is flickering? You know, sometimes when the light is on, when the bulb is spoiled, the tube light, the light will come and go like that, you know, flickering like that. So it looks like there's a light and looks like there's a darkness. So dark and light, dark and all flickering. So that is called the flickering happiness, Chapala Sukha. So flickering happiness means what? It's a very frustrating situation. Can you stay under the light which is flickering? We can't. We get headache. So like that. So flickering. For example, an ordinary man, family man who works hard day and night and is successful in giving comfort to his family members, thereby relishes a kind of mellow. But his whole advancement of material happiness immediately terminates along with his body as soon as his life is over. So that means he works so hard, he gave all that comfort for his family, he has some kind of taste, rasa. Oh, I'm so happy, I'm providing the best education, I'm providing the best food for my family. But when the happily immediately terminates, the happy immediately disappeared. When the body, as soon as life is over, once he die, everything's gone. So now death is therefore taken in the representative of God. Okay, now we should understand that death is something as taken as the representative of Krishna. Okay, the Krishna representative for who? For the atheistic class of men. Those who are atheistic class of men, they usually fear death. All right. But we as a devotee, we have no fear of death because somehow or other we're going to move on. Even we're going to move on into the next level. We're going to move on into the next level of bhakti, sadhana. We are just going to move on in this path. And eventually we're going to go back home, back to God. Right? So we have no fear. We just know we have given a renewed, right? Say like, for instance, I'm sitting in an old rotten house. I'm doing bhajan. Okay, I'm chanting Hare Krishna. Suddenly when the rain comes, there's still dripping on your head, everything is like broken. So now you give up that house. Okay, the government say, I give you a better house. Give you maybe a stone, what they call maybe a terrace house. Okay, your comfort has increased. Then after that, he said, no, I think now I give you on a double-story house, this thing. Then after that, no, I give you on bungalow. Then after that, no, I give you on a palace. All right. So that means you take your deities and go to the palace and convert the palace into temple. So that means we are progressing from a rotten house to a normal house, terrace house. Then we go to the double-story terrace house. Then we go to bungalow, and from bungalow we go to the palace. We are moving forward, even birth after birth. But for the karmis, for those who have no interest in devotional service, what they do, they are, once they go to the level of that, example, as a devotee, our graph is keep going up. We are going up, going up, going up, going up. We just eventually going up. But for a karmi, what will happen to them? They are going up. They can be very successful. They're millionaire. By the time of death come, boom, they fall down, and they fall down until they go to the lowest level. They go to the lowest level of existence. That means they even become a bacteria. They become even the worm in the stool, right? They go this thing, and after that they start to evolve back. Evolve back. Go, and they get a human body again. If they get a human body again after millions and trillions of lifetime, if they don't utilize it, boom, they fall down again. So they are just up and down, up and down. They are graph just like this, right? It's not going anywhere. It's just within that place. But for a devotee, we are just moving on. We are moving on towards the perfection. Okay. So like that. So for the atheistic class of men, the death comes as a punishment. But for a devotee, the devotee realizes the presence of God by devotional service. Whereas the atheist realizes the presence of God in the shape of death. All right. So that means eventually, whether you are an atheist, whether you are a devotee, you will still feel God. You will still, what they call, realize the presence of God. We are realizing it by performing devotional service. But for the atheistic, the death comes to prove I am here. So as death is everything, at death everything is finished. And one who has to begin his new chapter of life in new situation, perhaps higher or lower than the last one, right? Perhaps it can be higher birth or the lower birth, right? In any field of activity. So now Prabhupada is back. In any field of activity like politics, social, national, international, the result of our action will be finished with the end of life. That is sure. Okay. Now, okay. Any question? Any question? Okay, we move on. You want to take another break, short break? 1-2 minutes? Is it too heavy? Maybe it's after Monday blues, after 10 days off.
Yeah, can Prabhu.
Going to break, huh? Okay. We take a short break. We just take maybe now at 10:36, just take 1 or 2 minutes, just pick it up, just look somewhere, drink water and come back. Because I don't want you to feel pressure, because very interesting. These topics are very interesting. Okay. Okay, now Bhakti Rasa. Okay. So Bhakti Rasa, however, now we are talking about Bhakti Rasa. We are just talking about the ordinary rasa that that completes at the time of death, right? So now Bhakti Rasa, however, the mellow relished in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Okay, is a transcendental loving service of the Lord. Is the mellow that we relish in that loving service. And you know what's the beautiful thing about this? It does not finish with the end of life. It never finishes. It continues perpetually and therefore called Amrita. Amrita means nectar, which does not die but exists eternally. Even a one drop of bhakti that you perform for Krishna, it lasts forever. All right. And this is confirmed in all Vedic literature. It is not imagination. Okay. Bhagavad Gita says, okay, there's a reference from Bhagavad Gita says that a little advancement in Bhakti Rasa can save the devotee from the greatest danger. Okay, and what is the greatest danger we are talking about? The greatest danger is missing the opportunity of human life. All right. So that means a little advancement. All right. So now you came, you attended a temple, you just do some prayer, you are listening to this class, you are chanting Hare Krishna, even one round. Okay, with intention. Okay, do you see? That means all the people in Malaysia, they call Hari Hari, Krishna, Rama. So do they get? No, they get namabas. They get some kind of purification, right? But if you chant with intention, that means your intention is, yes, I want to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra because this is a devotional sadhana bhakti. I want to perform this bhakti, right? So when you do that, all right, so it's a kind of little advancement, and that is the missing. That means you will be saved from the greatest type of danger, right? There's a greatest danger. That is missing the human form of life. So the rasas derive from our feelings in social life, in family life, or in the greater family life like altruism, philanthropy, nationalism, socialism, communism, etc. Do not guarantee. These things do not guarantee. Like some people say, oh, I need to serve my family forever, you know. They just don't want to retire after I got grandchildren, or I have to look after the grandchildren. I have to go on doing it. These kind of rasa do not guarantee of one's next life, right? And will be as a human being. That means it doesn't guarantee that you'll be born as a human being. Sorry. So now we prepare our next life. So now what we're doing, we are preparing our next life by our actual activities in the present life. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what thought a person dies, that shall be his next birth. Okay, so we prepare our next life, our actual activities in present life. All right, we are preparing by our present activities. A living entity is offered a particular type of body as a result of his action in the present body. So what we understand from here, so we are getting a particular type of body according to the result of our action in this present. All of you look at yourself in the mirror. Where did you get this body from? Why did I born into this particular family, this particular race, this particular country, nation, or even you come to this particular country? Why did I born into this particular state, city, or the environment? All these things is not coincidental. It is all preparation. that you have prepared yourself from your previous birth. So all these things is done from the previous birth action. Like example, they say, you are today of what you have eaten yesterday. If yesterday you have eaten rubbish, today you should be suffering. Say like yesterday I've eaten pungent food or with salty food or the food which is extremely bitter, extremely spicy, no? So all this is, so when I eat that today, I feel very sick. Oh, my stomach. Oh, I feel so terrible. Why? The food I've eaten yesterday is what I am today. Similarly, what you're going to eat today is going to be what are you going to be tomorrow. Similarly, what is your activity yesterday, previous birth, that is what you got a body in this birth. And what is your activity you were performing in this birth, that shall be your next birth. So these activities are taken into account by superior authority. Okay, these who's checking on you is checked by the account by the superior authority known as Daiva, or the authority of God. Okay, so now this Daiva also we can say like Chitragupta. See, when a person dies, when he goes to hell, okay, there are so many things will come and give a testimony on you, who are watched upon you. And the one who come and give a testimony on you is number one, Surya Bhagavan, the sun, the moon, the stars, everything that witness your activity. You think that no one is watching on you. Actually, everyone is watching you. Okay, it's mentioned in Garuda Puran. So, okay, anyway, so this is not important. So now, so this is all the authority of God. So this Daiva is explained in Bhagavad Gita is the prime cause of everything. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated as the man takes his next body by Daiva Netrena, which means by the supervision of the authority of the Supreme, right? Like Yamaraj, Chitragupta and all these things. So that is how you take them. So Bhagavad Gita says as prime cause of everything, and Srimad Bhagavatam is called it as the Daiva Netrena, which means the supervision of the authority of the Supreme. In ordinary sense, in just for ordinary talk, Daiva is explained as destiny. Daiva is explained as destiny. So Daiva supervision gives the body selected from 8.4 million species. Right? So we get that from the 8.4 million species. The choice does not depend on our selection. So this is not something that we can select. Oh, Krishna, I think I'd like to born as a man in Dubai, you know, born to the Sheikh family. No, it is not depend on your selection, but it is awarded to us according to our destiny. All right, this is something that awarded to us. If our body at present engaged, so that means now, if our body at present is engaged in activities of Krishna consciousness, then it is guaranteed that we will have at least human body in our next life. All right. So when we are engaging in this kind of thing, and spiritual life, it is somewhat rather guaranteed that we're going to have a human body in next life. A human being engaged in Krishna consciousness, even if we unable to complete the course of Bhakti Yoga. Say that you are engaging in the Krishna conscious activity, but even if you unable to complete the course, the entire program, okay, of Bhakti Yoga, and what happened? Takes birth in the higher division of human, all right? So it takes birth in the higher division of human society. Right? So it still takes birth in the higher division of human society that he can automatically further his advancement in Krishna consciousness. So that means it's automatically. So you don't even need to think about it. Suddenly you just spontaneously, you just get attracted, you start to practice. Therefore, all bona fide activities in Krishna consciousness are amrita or permanent. So amrita, nectar, the another meaning of amrita is also permanent. This is a subject, and this now, this is also the subject matter of nectar of devotion. This is also the subject matter of nectar of devotion. Now, the eternal engagement now. So now let's look at this. The eternal engagement in Bhakti Rasa can be understood by serious student upon studying the nectar of devotion. So I hope that after we complete this, because we want to study this book very seriously, I hope that in the future that we can understand the real Bhakti Rasa. So adoption of Bhakti Rasa or Krishna consciousness. So we understand Bhakti Rasa also means Krishna consciousness will immediately bring one to an auspicious life free from anxiety and will bless one with transcendental existence. Okay. It will bless one with transcendental existence, thus minimizing the value of liberation. So that means we are not interested in the value of getting liberated, because even the liberation is temporary. So Bhakti Rasa itself is sufficient to produce feeling of liberation. Even Bhakti Rasa, when we perform Bhakti, it is also sufficient to produce a feeling for liberation. Because why? Because it attracts the attention of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Generally, neophyte devotees are anxious to see Krishna or God. Okay? They are so anxious, they want to see Krishna, they want to see God. But God cannot be seen or known by our present material blunt senses. We can never see or understand in our material blunt senses. The process of devotional service as it is recommended in the Nectar of Devotion. Again, the word, the process of devotional service. Okay? Process of devotional service. It is recommended in Nectar of Devotion, which is recommended in Nectar of Devotion. Okay? What will happen? Will gradually elevate one from the material condition of life. So that means the process of devotional service as recommended in Nectar of Devotion will gradually elevate, slowly but surely, one from a material condition of life of the spiritual state to the spiritual status, wherein the devotee becomes purified of all designations. All right? He gets purified from all kind of designations. The senses can then become uncontaminated, being constantly in touch with Bhakti Rasa. So that means the senses then become uncontaminated, even though being constantly in touch with this material nature, and that is also because of Bhakti Rasa. So once you get a higher taste, you are not interested in this kind of mundane taste, right? So when the purified senses are employed in the service of the Lord, then what? First is, okay, now let's look at this. Number one, spiritual wherein the devotee becomes purified of all designation. So this is the first thing. So number one is we get purified from all designation. I am a man, I am an Indian, I am this, I am that, I, mine. We get purified from that, right? So then after we purify from all these things, all right? Then senses can become uncontaminated. By doing this, number two, the senses become uncontaminated, being constantly in touch with Bhakti Rasa. All right? So after that, once your senses are purified, number three, once your senses are purified in the service of the Lord, then what happened? Then number four, all right, one becomes situated in Bhakti Rasa life. And any action performed for the satisfaction of Krishna in this transcendental Bhakti Rasa stage of life can be relished perpetually. Okay, again, so once we achieve that thing, okay, once number three, we purify senses, then number four, one becomes situated in Bhakti Rasa life. If situated in Bhakti Rasa life, at that moment, that means first we have to have a purified senses, right? Durena varam karma. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Durena, duram, far away. Throw away all abominable activities. Varam karma, all the abominable karma. Through the practice of devotional service. In that purified senses, surrender unto me, Krishna says that. So that is what Prabhupada is mentioning here. That means once we become purified senses, all our senses are purified, then we employ it. Once we are clear, we use it for the for the service of Krishna. So then what happened? At that particular moment, one becomes situated in Bhakti Rasa life or full Krishna conscious life. And any action performed at that time for the satisfaction of Krishna in this transcendental Bhakti Rasa stage of life can be relished perpetually. That's when we can get the full relishment. When one is thus engaged in devotional service, all varieties of rasa or mellow turn into eternity. So once we start to say any feeling, any happiness that you get, it turns into eternity. In the beginning, so now, then after that, Prabhupada is continuing. He says that in the beginning, at the beginning stage, one is trained according to the principle of the regulation under the guidance of an acharya or a spiritual master. First, we have to learn under the acharya or spiritual master. And gradually, when one is elevated, devotional service becomes automatic and spontaneous eagerness to serve Krishna. First, we learn under spiritual, then after that, you become very eager, spontaneous. At first, you need to hold the father or mother have to hold your hand and start write A, B, C, D, right? You have to be guided. But after you become expert, you don't even need to think what you're writing. You just write. When your mind thinks, your hands start to follow. No, you just keep writing like that, right? You become spontaneous eagerness to serve Krishna. There are 12 kinds of rasa as will be explained in this book. How many types of rasa? 12 kinds of rasa. And by renovating our relationship with Krishna. So what does it mean by renovating? Okay. Let's look at this very nice word. So by renovating our relationship with Krishna means what? So that means we are in Krishna conscious, but we are all polluted. That means your house, you have a house, you do not demolish the house. You just adjust the house. Okay, I think according to the Vastu, this place I shouldn't have a door. I close up with the wall. And according to the Vastu, the northeast corner must have the opening. So I break the wall and create an opening. I put a tulsi or water pond there. So like that, you renovate the house according to the Vastu. The house is there. You are renovating, adjusting. Similarly, we are renovating our relationship with Krishna. So we have forgotten, we are all into this material concept, but now we are renovating. Now, so I'm involved in material life, but the material life I dovetail to Krishna. I do my job, but everything I dovetail to Krishna. Everything, renovating it, closing and opening, all right? Putting up a wall and opening a door. So renovating our relationship with Krishna. How? How are we going to renovate our relationship with Krishna? Using in 5 primary rasa. According to the 5 primary mellows, which we can live eternally in the full knowledge and bliss. All right. So that's the thing. So the next paragraph is already, okay. We have another few more paragraph. Okay. I think we can finish it by tomorrow. All right. This is only the preface. The instruction of Prabhupada is saying what is this Bhakti Rasa is all about. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to read through the thing. And after that, we're going to start our introduction. All right. The first verse tomorrow we're going to discuss. Okay, we'll do it by tomorrow. Right. So is there any questions? So please mark your book. Okay. The basic principle of the living condition. Purpose 4. So this is the 4th purpose of the book. Okay. Anyway, any questions? Any comment?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Okay, when you say death is therefore taken as a representative of God for the artistic class of man, and that the devotee realize God, presence of God, that paragraph, death, what does it mean by death is only for artistic class of men that take death as a representative of God, whereas I mean, I just want to know some clarification.
Nice question. Very nice question. It is just like a cat carries a kitten. The cat carries the mouse. Okay. The cat carries the kitten is very comfortable. But when the cat carries the mouse in the mouth, I mean, it just in the mouth, it is a death for the mouse. So that's the difference. So that means for a devotee, death is migrating into you are improving, because see, like we are given, our body comes with a short expiry. Even though that we are authentic, we got a thumbprint, everything seems to be authentic, but this body comes with a expiry date. Okay, so within that expiry date, you try to do as much as you can. So once the thing is expired, you are given a new, fresh body, and you go to continue from there. Then you continue from there. Then after that, it expires. Then you keep rewarding. You are given a different kinds of body until you come to the level of achieving prema. Example, now in this body you give up. Next body you'll born into a pure Brahman. That means from birth, you're going to practice bhakti. You know, then after that, maybe the following birth, you might be born into a pure Vaishnava, maybe in Vrindavan or Mayapur, right? From birth, you're going to practice what they call prema. That means you go to this thing. So once you come to the level of bhava, then ecstatic level, then you come to the level of prema, you go back home, back to Godhead. So that is death for devotees. So death for devotees is transmigrating from this condition to a better condition until we go. That means we are climbing the staircase. But for an atheistic class of men, death means disaster. Why? Because it's falling down back into this, what they call, repeated birth and death. Okay, they fall back into repeated birth and death, and their destination, it is unknown. So whether they're going to, because if they do some punya or this thing, or they may fall down into this animal kingdom, worm kingdom, insect kingdom, or as a tree, plant, nobody knows. So that means it's abominable for them. But for a devotee, death is liberation. That means devotee death means you are moving up. So Krishna comes in the form of moving you up in the form of death. That means death for devotees is pleasure. Okay. But at the same time, atheistic men who never believe in God, Krishna come in the form of death. You don't believe in me? Now I take your life away. See whether your science can save you or not. Whether anything can save you or not. You know, they come in the form of gory death. Or the miserable. See, like for instance, I like my opposite house here, I saw them moving out. They only stayed here for 1 year. 1.5 years. When they're moving out, I saw the man coming out, looking at the house, looking at the environment. You know, it looks like he's saddened. Even moving house itself is sad thing for him. He was just looking at the house. And he was like so sad. You know, I know from his face, from his expression itself, I know he's not happy. Just moving house. Imagine moving from body. Right? But a person, but a person who are staying in a slum, moving to a terrace house. Say suddenly the government called them out, said, come out from the slum, I'll give you one house. How they come out? They come out excitingly. They just don't care. They just come there. They just like moving forward. They can't wait to go to that, what they call a terrace house. So that's what it meant, really.
Thank you, thank you.
Any other question? Okay, so if there's no question, I just want to ask you for possibilities, because I just need to confirm it. The possibilities, okay, because I have a training thing lined up. No, my partner just created a training for me. 7, 8, 9. As I said, 7th is Wednesday. We're going to do the class, Bhagavad Gita day 1. Thursday, we're taking a break. So, what is that possibilities of meeting up on 7th evening, 8th evening, and 9th? I just want to find out Then later I will update you. Is it okay? 7th evening, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday evening. Say like from 7:30 to 9:30. Is it okay that we can meet online at night, not in the morning? Because my partner, I just stopped the recording. Okay. Say it again, Prabhu. Say it again. Now I will step up.
Rasa, mellow and this and that was so difficult to understand. But here it is made so very easy, Prabhu. It's a kind of happiness which is difficult to explain.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's very difficult. Let go your lecture, Prabhu.
Thank you, bro. No, because this is what I mean. I didn't speak.
Prabhu, one more thing. I said I yawn before my sleep, not doing chanting, Prabhu.
Oh, okay. No, because one of the rasa, one of the ecstatic feeling when you yawn.
Oh, no, I don't have all that, Prabhu. I don't
Okay.
before my sleep.
Sometimes when you chant Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, you keep yawning. I was thinking, why if the yawn comes, I after wake up, when you're active, because that's one of the rasa. That's I realized, oh, the rasa is, when you chant, you feel that's one of the ecstatic feeling. Laughter, yawning, crying, lamenting, all that. Nice, very nice. The final chapter is going to be very interesting, very
But
lovely
my
read.
only material, Prabhu.
Sorry?
My yawning is very material, Prabhu.
No, it doesn't matter. I just, we will identify it. Now you think it's material. Let's identify it later. Okay. So any other question? Was the topic is quite heavy? Because it's only the introduction. Prabhupada is giving, just in a few paragraphs, is saying why this nectar of devotion is very, very important. Okay. Any other question? No question? Okay. If there's no question, thank you very much for your time. It's my great pleasure to meet all of you again and to discuss. So tomorrow morning we meet again. We continue our nectar of devotion. Pancha kalpatrubhescha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavinibhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. Have a beautiful day. Bye. Gauranga.